Everybody, today we're going to make an amazing banana bread by the Minimalist Baker. So the first thing you're going to do, you can use a flax egg, which is 1 tablespoon ground flax, 3 tablespoons water. Mix it in a little cup and let it sit it will kind of form a little gel. Now if your body's sensitive to flax, which I know some people are, including myself, you can use energy egg replacer, and I'll show you what that looks like. Combination of tapioca flour and some other ingredients. So you use 1 1/2 teaspoon of the energy egg replacer, and let me make sure 2 tablespoons water. So that's what I did, just to get that going before we start here, and then let that sit as well. Okay, and then you're going to need 3 what I recommend very ripe bananas. More ripe than this banana. So I used 3 of these, and I already mashed them just because it was a little bit labor intensive and I didn't want everybody to have to wait. So that's what I've done. But the more ripe they are, the easier they are to mash. Mine were not that easy, so just keep that in mind. Just save 3 bananas on your countertop and let them get lots of black spots. All right. Then you're going to add almond butter, which I thought was unique to have in banana bread, but it's amazing. I love it. 1/4 cup almond butter. I show this a lot, but it's Kirkland's organic almond butter from Costco, if that interests you. So we add that to our 3 mashed bananas. I haven't tried any other form of nut butters, but I will put a link to the recipe, and maybe Dana, the blogger, will have some suggestions if you can't do almond butter. Then we're going to use 3 tablespoons either avocado oil, or I use extra virgin olive oil, and pretty much anything that calls for oil. Get this big jug also at Costco. So it does have some oil in it. And 3, okay. Then there is some sugar. In addition to the bananas, there's brown sugar. So we start with 1/2 cup of brown sugar. I love this Simple Truth Organic. I get it at Ralph's, which is a Kroger store. And we're going to add 1/2 cup of brown sugar. So we're basically doing all our wet ingredients first. Then we're going to do 3 tablespoons of maple syrup, also organic maple syrup from Kirkland. 2 and 3. All right. Then there is 1 dry ingredient, excuse me, in this first part. So 1/2 teaspoon sea salt. And you can omit that if you're not doing salt. Okay, so hopefully you can zoom in here and see all these ingredients, and we're going to whisk them together, excuse me, with either the flax egg or the energy egg replacer. Now, energy egg replacer, for some reason, has been a little tricky to find lately. We actually ended up ordering it online after we used to be able to get it at the health food store. Whole Foods usually carries it. Alright, so add the egg replacer of your choice, and then try to whisk this all together. And you can preheat your oven at 350. This is called 1 bowl banana bread. Everything can go in 1 bowl, but there are a lot of ingredients. But it's way worth it. I was so impressed with this recipe. Okay, now we're moving on to an array of different flours. Okay, so the first one is, she says almond meal. I can't find almond meal. I use almond flour. This is Bob's Red Mill almond flour, so since it's from almonds, it is gluten-free. So we're going to add in 1 3/4 cups almond flour. Let's do that. Stir that in a bit. So this is a gluten-free recipe. All my recipes on my channel are vegan and gluten-free. I don't have to be gluten-free, but I feel better when I am. It makes me stuffy and a little wheezy. Even though I grew up eating it my whole life, so something to consider in what they're doing maybe to the wheat. Okay, now our next flour. You can use any all-purpose baking flour. I'm using Bob's red milk. And we need 1 1/4 cups flour, gluten-free flour. And I love this. I use it for everything, and for me, it's worked really, really well. So 1 1/4, you gotta really measure, pay attention. Give that a little stir. And then we're gonna add in some oats here for our last grain. Okay, and then I'm going to add some almond milk too, so that'll help. So let's see, we're going to do 1 1/2 cups of oats. So I get these rolled organic gluten-free oats in the bin. Gluten-free oats are gluten-free, but in processing and in the crops can get cross-contaminated. So it's up to you how particular you need to be about your gluten-free oats. Then we're going to add 3/4 cup almond milk unsweetened. This is from the recipe on my channel, making your own homemade almond milk, which I'm in love with. And now don't need to buy almond milk anymore. So we got a big pile of food. Like I said, it's amazing. We're almost done. These really are the main ingredients. The optional is going to be if you like walnuts. If you want to add some walnuts, you can chop up 1/2 cup of walnuts. And we're going to put 1/2 in the batter and 1/2 on top of the batter before we bake it. Okay. The batter is actually delicious. I tasted it last time. Okay, so we've got 1/2 cup of chopped walnuts. Again, you can omit them if you're nut sensitive. This is optional. And then I'm going to say back here to put on top. Alright, now we're going to put it in our bread pan. Okay. We've got our cat Noah confined to the bedroom today, so he'll stop making his debut, even though I love him helping me. There were just too many things for him to get into today. We'll get it all. In the last recipe, I actually used the pulp from making the almond milk because I didn't have enough almond flour, and it still worked amazing. It was very dense, which I didn't mind, but I think Wade did. So, but you can always try that too if you're making homemade almond milk, okay? And it'll rise quite a bit above this bread pan, okay? Now, optional if you like nuts, if you can do walnuts. You could do pecans, I guess, also, huh? Alright, just top it with a few nuts. And there it is, in all its beauty. Ready to go. So you're going to bake at 350 for 60 to 75 minutes. So you could check it at 60 and stick a toothpick or a knife in it and see if it's firm. You want it to be firm, and it will have a little crack down the center. You know, I went closer to 70 minutes, but everybody's oven's different. So we're going to bake it, and we'll see you when it's done. A delicious loaf of banana walnut bread. It's gluten-free. And the directions say bake at 350, 60 to 75 minutes. And we did 70. Probably should have pulled it out about 65. So everybody's oven's different, so you'll just have to experiment. But I suggest at 60 minutes start putting a pick or knife in it to your liking. And then we looked up the recipe. There is a full tablespoon of baking powder, so I apologize. Please add that to help it rise. Occasionally a baked good doesn't have leavening, but this does for sure. Then I wanted to show you a couple of vegan butters that I love. Everybody probably knows about Earthbound's, which is great, and it has different flavors. It also has canola oil and flaxseed oil, which for me, I'm just a little sensitive to nuts and seeds. So I'm super excited to find this new Pure Blends vegan butter. There's the vegan seal. And it has avocado oil. And I love it. It actually has a little less fat and calories, which I'm not really too concerned about, but it seems to be a win-win. So you could slice a piece of banana bread, have a little butter like old-time steak, and it's all vegan. So thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed the video, please click like and subscribe. And as always, thank you for saving animals with your food choices. Have a great week.